Hello and welcome to This Explainer. If you're joining me today, chances are you're carrying around a weight that you just can't quite explain. You might be waking up tired even after a completely full night's sleep. Or maybe you're feeling like your days are just this one long gray stretch of going through the motions. I want to start right off the bat by telling you that what you're experiencing is real. It is absolutely valid, and you are not alone in this. Whether you've just gone through a major loss, a big career shift, or even a seemingly positive change like a promotion or a new relationship, these major life transitions can leave us completely drained and totally adrift. So today, we're going to act as a team. Consider this a guided roadmap, a safe space to help you understand that unexplained exhaustion, and a plan to gently walk you out of survival mode and right back into a life full of meaning. Okay, let's dive right into our treatment plan for today. We'll be diagnosing your emotional exhaustion, breaking down the anatomy of a transition, tracking your emotional energy, recalibrating your core values, and finally, building your purpose roadmap. Section 1, diagnosing your emotional exhaustion. So it's completely natural for a major change to leave you feeling a bit lost. But when that feeling sticks around, it can turn into this slow leak of your vital energy. And it is absolutely crucial to distinguish between what you might be feeling right now and clinical depression. While the two can definitely overlap, depression often involves a really profound sense of hopelessness and a flattening of all your emotions, which typically requires biological or cognitive intervention. Situational emotional exhaustion, on the other hand, it's highly selective. You might experience anhedonia, which is that inability to feel pleasure, but it's often specifically tied to your old identity and those old routines that just don't fit you anymore. Basically, it happens when your emotional output has exceeded your input for way too long. There is a kind of tired that is very hard to explain, a slow leak, an invisible weight. I really want to validate that heavy, invisible weight you are carrying right now. Your tiredness is not a character flaw. It's actually a messenger. It's your body's way of telling you that you have been holding everything together for far too long. Section 2, the anatomy of transition. So, what is actually happening beneath the surface here? You might actually be asking yourself this very question right now. Why do things that used to satisfy me suddenly feel empty? Maybe that promotion you worked so hard for feels like nothing, or the hobbies you used to love just feel like chores. It is incredibly confusing to lose interest in once loved goals and to feel like you've kind of lost your identity. But guess what? There is a biological reason for this. Now, what's really interesting here is the physical reality of what you're going through. Under prolonged stress and the massive pressure of a major transition, your nervous system actually shifts into survival mode. It literally stops prioritizing pleasure and instead prioritizes protection. The reward systems in your brain just slow down, making dopamine, the chemical connected to motivation, much, much harder to access. This isn't you being lazy. This is a highly evolved protective mechanism trying to shield you from further exhaustion. Transition expert William Bridges identified 3 phases that we all have to navigate. First, there are endings, where we simply have to let go of the old way of life. Then comes the neutral zone, which is this deeply uncomfortable in-between period where the old is gone, but the new hasn't quite arrived yet. And finally, we reach new beginnings. Right now, if you are feeling adrift, you are likely sitting right in that mandatory neutral zone. And I know it feels terrible, but it is actually a really positive opportunity for incredible long-term growth. Author Greg Lavoie perfectly captures this. He calls it a sacred drift or a fruitful emptiness. We really have to reframe your current lack of direction. You are not collapsing. You are in a cocoon. The transition itself is the work, and this empty space is completely necessary for the new you to develop. Section 3, tracking your emotional energy. Let's shift gears a bit to behavioral interventions and how you manage your internal resources. So the crucial point is this idea of an energy bank account. When you're in a transition, your everyday stressors, the sheer energy it takes to mask and pretend you're okay, and your natural resistance to change, all of those act as massive emotional withdrawals. If your output is constantly outpacing your input, well, you go bankrupt. We need to start making conscious energy deposits to balance those scales. The absolute best way to make those deposits is through daily micro habits. And no, this doesn't require booking a grand vacation. It just means intentionally taking a moment to notice the sunlight coming through a window, or to truly pause and smell your morning coffee, or to listen to a song that really makes you feel seen. These small, intentional awe moments and sensory exercises are profoundly effective at reconnecting your nervous system with the present moment. That is how you slowly recover from emotional fatigue. Section 4. Recalibrating your core values. Here's a big takeaway. Energy doesn't just come from resting, it actually comes from alignment. To truly heal, we have to confront the loss of your old identity and recalibrate. I want you to try conducting a structured values inventory. Think about it. Who you were 5 years ago is not who you are today. List what you value most right now. Rank them. Then honestly evaluate how your previous life or your old roles diverged from these current values. When your daily actions finally match your current priorities, you will start to experience authentic flow, and that heavy exhaustion is going to start lifting. This is exactly how you reclaim your power. It's really helpful to keep this simple reflection guide handy so you can spot when your daily routines start to drift away from your personal values. Ask yourself, am I pretending to be okay right now? Am I rushing into a new job or a new relationship just to avoid the discomfort of the void? Radical honesty with yourself is your compass here. When you inevitably hit stressors, because you will, try to convert them into growth. Research by Kelly McGonigal shows that adopting a stress is enhancing mindset can actually significantly reduce your anxiety. Try journaling about your transition without any judgment for where you currently are. And most importantly, practice daily self-compassion. Treat yourself with the exact same kindness you would offer a dear friend going through a really tough time. Section 5. Building your purpose roadmap. Okay, let's look at how all of this builds into a practical, long-term treatment plan. True recovery requires structured, actionable steps. For the next week, simply focus on logging your energy and practicing those sensory grounding moments we talked about. Over the next month, complete your values inventory and start exploring small, new interests. Looking ahead 3 months, the goal is to establish meaning-making routines and implement a simple weekly review to monitor if your daily tasks actually align with your new values. To make this super concrete, here is a daily template you can literally start using tomorrow. Log what drained you and what energized you. Do 1 sensory check-in. Offer yourself 1 self-compassion statement. And take just 1 action that aligns with your core values. These micro habits will slowly but surely shift your focus from mere survival to active, purposeful engagement. As you progress, you actually get to rewrite the story of your transition. Stop focusing on what was lost and start highlighting the moments of growth. Identify the new skills and strengths that this hardship has forged in you. And crucially, share this evolving narrative with supportive, trusted friends. Finding that community provides immense emotional validation. The theologian Howard Thurman once said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and go do it." This transition, as painful and exhausting as it has been, is a profoundly rare opportunity. It is your chance to stop sleepwalking and really recommit to what truly matters to the person you are today. Please remember this: the transition itself is the work. If you find yourself constantly saying, "I just don't know what I want you to hear this loud and clear. That is not a failure. It is an incredibly honest realization that you have simply outgrown your old answers. You are exactly where you need to be right now. So I want to leave you with this thought as we wrap up our explainer today. If you can trust the process, if you can truly accept that this transition is a cocoon rather than a collapse, what new, vibrant version of yourself is waiting to emerge? Be patient with yourself, keep making those small energy deposits, and allow yourself the grace to find out. Take care.
That's all for today, beautiful souls. I don't usually recommend random spiritual tools online, but after years in this space, I've found a few things that actually feel thoughtful instead of hype-driven. One of them is this offer. If you've ever wanted a more personalized perspective on your numbers, life path, and recurring patterns, take a look at the free experience in the description. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and follow for more angel number insights, spiritual mindset upgrades, and manifestation wisdom. Thanks for supporting and watching. Have a great day.